Yeah, we've learned a lot over the past 4 years, and I think we've built an indestructible balance sheet, right? If you think about what we're issuing, we're not borrowing money as on a junk bond or a senior bond that comes due in 5 years. We're actually issuing a preferred stock, which is a perpetuity. You don't hear the word perpetuity that often. It means that we're never paying the money back. Like when we sell $1 billion of a preferred stock, we're borrowing $1 billion forever for 1,000 years. So it's a perpetual swap, and it's a perpetual swap with no covenant. So Bitcoin could trade down 99%. There's no, I mean, people talk about margin call on X. There's no margin call coming. It's just not happening, right? The instruments that are constructed, don't have Bitcoin pledged as collateral, and so we could take an 80 or a 90 or a 95% drawdown. We'd be just fine, right? Um, what we've done is we've constructed the business such that the leverage for the equity comes from intelligent sources, and the most intelligent source is clearly preferred stock, right? Because it's like all the leverage you get from a bond, but none of the liabilities of a bond, right? Someone's going to give you money forever, you never have to pay it back. Think about it, right? It's like, why, if I offered to give you money forever and you would never pay it back, and your friend said, well, don't take it because you might get liquidated if your investment draws down 75%. You're like, yeah, but on the other hand, I expect it to go up by a factor of 100, and if I take the $1 billion, I'll have $100 billion, and if I don't take the $1 billion, then I'll have nothing. So, and by the way, it's like there's no liquidation risk. So these are just, they're not really that risky instruments. It's very intelligent leverage. And the more important point is that this is an engineered company. The leverage that's generated by the convertible bonds is beneficial to the equity, and the volatility of the equity is beneficial to the convertible bonds, and the leverage generated by the preferred stock benefits the equity and the convertible bonds. And the more preferred we sell, the more strike we sell, the more leverage and volatility for the equity, which is beneficial to the options traders, which drives up the premium in the equity, which drives up the premium in the price of the converts, which opens up the convert market, which drives up the price of the preferred stock, which loops back into the capital market.
That was Saylor discussing STRF. We're going to be talking about STRF in today's video. And he's basically saying this is a loan that we never have to pay back. And we're going to use Bitcoin to buy that. The best type of loan is a loan that you don't have to pay back. So we're going to be getting into STRF, into MSTR, into some Bitcoin news at the end of the video. Like and subscribe for more content. We have new content coming out every single day. But we can see here, this is the STRF offering. Came out last week. They closed their deal at $722 million. Saylor's probably using that $722 million as we speak to buy Bitcoin this week. And to get a little bit more into STRF, they're targeting the broader fixed income market, which is around $300 trillion in bonds. So basically what Saylor wants to do, what he said, is he wants to get 1% of the fixed income market using STRF and Strike. That would be $3 trillion. And he wants to put that into Bitcoin. Now we know the Bitcoin market is only $2 trillion right now. So that would over double the price of BTC if they just got 1% of the fixed income market. And understand one thing, this $300 trillion is what the fixed income market is right now. According to market research, they believe that the bond market is going to grow at around a 13 CAGR every single year. So you can see the bond market will continue to grow over time. And if strategy has 1% of that, you can see over time how trillions and trillions more will flow into Bitcoin from STRF. But let's compare it to some of the other bonds. Let's look at what the competition is going to be for STRF here, and you can see these are government bonds. These are the yields that you're getting from government bonds right now. You're getting around a 4 to 5% return on any bond that you buy, 4% APY every single year, which isn't bad. But imagine one thing, if the interest rates go down in the economy, which eventually they probably will, and we go back to a 0% interest rate environment, that means these yields are going to plummet. And thinking about what STRF offers, they offer a 10% yield on all the money in there. So 10% versus 4% versus how low is that actually going to get if interest rates come down? Strife out of the gate probably isn't going to attract $1 trillion of capital, but over time, as people understand what it's doing, how it's been successful, other people put their money there and they're saying, hey, we're getting 10% every single year on our cash that we put with Strife. We're going to see a lot of that money in the fixed income market shift over to Strife. And then Saylor will use that money that is coming over to buy Bitcoin. But I think that takes years. As confidence goes with Strife, as confidence grows with Strike, we'll start to see some of that money flow into some of these products. That's at least my opinion on it. But I hope you can understand there how Strife is a huge offering for MicroStrategy and could potentially help MSTR buy trillions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. Now let's get into MSTR here. We can see strategy is down 13 spots in the top companies in the United States ranked by market cap, down to around a $75 billion market cap. We were down 10% today. As you can see, strategy is trading at around 290. You got Bitcoin at around 84,000. There's a lot of fear in the market around tariffs, a lot of uncertainty. The traditional market is selling off. That's why Bitcoin has been selling off as well. If you're looking to buy a dip, you can do that on MooMoo. Check out the affiliate link in the comment section below. You sign up, you can get up to 30 free stocks valued up to $2,000 each, basically free money. Make sure to check that out. Let's go ahead and get into some Bitcoin updates here. So, Bitcoin laws. South Carolina just introduced a new bill, Bitcoin Reserve Bill, and will allow the state treasurer to invest 10% of the state funds into Bitcoin. The Bitcoin Reserve would have a hard ceiling of 1 million Bitcoin. So South Carolina wants to buy 1 million BTC. Probably not going to happen, but just more states looking to put Bitcoin on the balance sheet. And then to give you guys a little bit of an update, you can see Arizona is still up here at number 1. I like Texas. I think Texas may be the first state that will pass their Bitcoin Reserve Bill. And you can see where some of these other states are. They really haven't progressed too much. Some states have failed. Some states have passed, but actually have taken the Bitcoin Reserve terminology out of the bill. So these bills can change going forward through this process. And to give you an update a little bit on Arizona here, the Arizona House has a Republican majority, meaning the Bitcoin Reserve bills have a decent shot at passing. However, Governor Katie Hobbs, who's a Democrat, has a notorious reputation for vetoing Republican legislation. Hobbs vetoed around 22% of all bills in 2024, the highest rate in the nation. So even if this passes through the second chamber here, we may get a veto at the governor's desk for Arizona. That's yet to be seen whether that happens or not, but giving you an update there. We have Galaxy Digital. They increased their Bitcoin holdings to around 8,994 BTC. Good to see there. Novogratz is stacking some more Bitcoin. Then we have the Blockchain Group. They confirmed the acquisition of 580 Bitcoin. They now hold 620 BTC. So just another company that's following the strategy playbook and putting Bitcoin on the balance sheet. And then you guys have probably already seen this. GameStop announced their proposed private offering of $1.3 billion of convertible senior notes. That is expected to close on April 1st, I believe. So next week, we could see GameStop buying $1 billion of Bitcoin. That's going to be around 16,000 Bitcoin, taking out of the supply and putting into cold storage. So that could have some significant impact on the Bitcoin price. But I think that does close on April 1st. And they have around $4 billion of cash, $4 to $5 billion of cash that they may use to buy Bitcoin. We'll see what GameStop does, but it's going to be exciting to see how GameStop actually implements this strategy. But that's all I had for today's video. Thank you guys for watching all the way to the end. My name is Aaron from Bitcoin Bros. I'm out. See you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.